Hello everybody, so let's go ahead and get started. This brush is way too long for what I use it for. So I decided I was going to cut off the end. I don't know if you recognized in the last video that I made how much the brush was hitting the camera stand. I tried not to make it obvious, but it was really bad. And so what I did is I used one of my other watercolor brushes that I liked the length of, and I kind of measured it out to see about how long I really wanted the brush to be. This brush is like 4 inches too long. I don't know why a watercolor brush would need to be this long. It's ridiculous. But I used a couple of my favorites. I measured it out a little bit longer because the bristles are a little bit longer on this brush, a little bit thicker. Want a little bit more of a grip. There is absolutely no reason it needed to have those extra inches on this brush. And like I said, I kept hitting the light and the camera stand, and it was just a giant pain. And I really like the brush. And so I decided I was going to cut it off. I have this serrated knife. One end is serrated, the other is not. I really probably should have used the non-serrated edge, if you'll see in a minute here. Because this is a voiceover, because there were other things going on in my house at the time that made it impossible to film live audio. I can talk today, really. I can, I promise. Live audio. So I laid some stuff down to protect my desk. And you can see here, because of the way the camera stand is attached, the desk moves when I'm trying to saw through it. I really should have used the non-serrated edge. That was my fault. But I never get to use the serrated edge of this knife, so it was me playing around. Once I got about halfway through cutting, I just stopped and snapped the rest of it off because it was easier than trying to continue to saw through it and possibly cut the desk. Of course, be careful. I decided to do this on a whim. I absolutely hated how long this brush was. I tried to find a shorter one when I was buying the brush, and there weren't. At least not where I was looking. There are brushes that I might have, but a little out of my price range at the moment because, everybody has their limits. But this one seemed like it would be good for what I needed it to do. It's just that the handle is too long. Unfortunately, the major problem is I didn't quite cut through enough and it split just a little bit. That doesn't really bother me a whole lot, but I did. I had this random sanding block for trying to sand down a piece of canvas, and so, excuse me, my allergies are going insane all of a sudden. So I sanded it down and that piece split off because I didn't cut through quite enough for it to make a clean break. It's not really that big of a deal to me. It's an aesthetic thing. And quite frankly, I don't really care. As long as the brush is usable, that's all that matters. But just sand down so you don't get splinters and, rough edges in the middle of your palm kind of thing. And that's really about it. And I just sanded it down so that it would be nice and smooth and kind of tapered back down to a rounded end like, a brush is supposed to. That's mostly just because it seemed like a good idea at the time. Or knowing me, I'll stick my hand in my bag and cut myself on it because I'm special like that. But yeah, so it's just a matter of sanding it down to where you want it to be. But I did this with stuff that was just laying around my house. I have a bunch of knives. It wasn't that big a deal. I have sanding blocks everywhere for sanding down canvas and primer and all kinds of other random things. And, if you don't, it's not like they're super expensive. I think that sanding block cost maybe $1. The brush itself was originally $10, and I had a 40% off coupon, so I got it for, I think, $5. It may have been less than that. I don't remember. But it's much better, much easier to use. Fantastic. As you can see from my stupid thumbs up. And then I saved the end because you never know, it could be useful for something. So hold on to it, and see where it's from there. I sanded down the end of that too because it seemed like a good idea at the time. So I have a little bit more video of me actually trying out the brush to show you that it no longer hits like that. So let's get into that. Alright, so I realized I didn't show you how much better the brush works for me now that I've cut the end of it off. I just showed you how I cut it off. So yeah, let's do a mini paint. Sorry, I cannot get this garbage off. It's driving me crazy. I had a bunch of these mini paintings I was working on my old paper, my old watercolor paper that I don't like very much. And I figured I would just use one of these real quick to kind of show you so that it's not hitting the light. It's not hitting the stand where the camera is anymore because it's not as long. It's about as long as my other brushes, as I kind of showed you. I made it a little tiny bit longer because it is a bigger brush. I don't know why the handle on it was that long, but yeah, it is what it is. I didn't make that decision, so we'll get into this. I'll just do a quick mini paint, and then I've gone ahead and I've lightened up the line work just with a little bit of kneaded eraser. That's filthy. I'm sorry if you can hear my squeaky chair. Different chair, different setup today. So let's get started. This is not going to work very well. I hate this paper. Okay, so this isn't going to work. This paper is trash. And it's not doing what I want it to do in any way, shape, or form. Like, I completely forgot how much I hate this paper. After using my better paper for a little while. So, yeah, but as you can see, I'm not constantly hitting, I mean, that's the major thing is I'm not constantly hitting the camera with the end of the brush. It's not constantly hitting the light. I keep getting interrupted, and it's really annoying. But I don't know if you can see it, but this watercolor paper just like instantly absorbs all the water. I can't spread anything around. I can't move the pigment once it's down because this paper just eats it. And that's why I wanted new watercolor paper so badly. Like, it can be used, but I've got to use my smaller brush. I can't lay down any sort of heavy pigment. And like, it will not let me, and it's starting to pill pretty much instantly. And it soaks straight through. I hate this paper. But yeah, basically, the major thing was to show you that the reason I shortened the brush is so that it stops. If this were just as long as it used to be, I would be hitting the camera right now. I would have hit it multiple times just trying to get the brush in here to be able to do this. Like, I would be touching the camera base right now. So, anyways, I hope you all enjoyed. Have a great day. I'm going to go pack up my stuff and do some other things that need to happen because now I'm annoyed by this. Look at this. I hate this paper. So yeah. Anyways, have a good day. I'll see you next time.